Back with you, the ML Sports Platter. Awesome to have you aboard Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. We're also available on the Stitcher platform as well as the Podbean app and YouTube and Tumblr. We're presented by Clark Toys. Visit clarktoys.com for the best bobbleheads in all the land. You can also see what other action figures and toys that they have. clarktoys.com, the official toy and accessory house of the ML Sports Platter. We're also supported by the Wolfenden Law Firm, Bradley's Jewelers, and Timberbanks Golf Club, as well as Main Street Host. Head to mainstreethost.com today for a free website analysis and how to grow your business digitally and socially. Also, a tip of the cap to Ken's Auto Detailing. Make sure you get your car detailed if you are in and around Central New York. Man, do they do a great job. Full A to Z waxing and all the rest. In and out detailing, the vacuuming, the shampoo job. It is fantastic. Ken's Auto Detailing. Like their Facebook page and go get your car detailed at Ken's Auto Detailing. What the hell is going on with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the playoffs? I mean, it's like a completely different team. And look, we have seen this movie before, right? We saw it last year. We saw it last year. This team went through the playoffs, had a great year, had a deep, versatile, balanced team, right? You thought maybe here it is, right? Now, this team, a year later, after losing the last two games to the Capitals in the conference finals, they got home ice. They did everything right. They set themselves up to get back to a cup final and win. Fast forward to this year after last year's disappointment. President's Trophy team, better team, even more balanced, even more versatile, even more deep, even younger. Vasilevsky playing better. Sergachev better. Everybody better. Kucherov, the Hart winner and the Art Ross Trophy winner, right? And it's the same old story for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are down 0-3 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now look, I am absolutely, positively not a fan of the matchup. I wasn't a fan of the matchup in the beginning because Columbus has been playing with a sense of urgency. They went for it at the trade deadline instead of selling the farm. They picked up Duchesne. They've got, Bobrovsky said no to a contract, but he's playing with just an incredible amount of energy, and he knows he's going to get paid big time in the offseason. And I don't know as if that's going to be Columbus who's going to pay him, but somebody's going to give him some huge money, right? And boy, when you look at this Columbus team, a lot of times when you play with a sense of urgency, in past years, that does help you in the postseason. Other times it just doesn't matter because no matter if you're going in really, really hot or not, the flat-out truth of the matter is that the postseason is it's a start-over period, That's really what it boils down to. It just does not matter what you did in the regular season. It doesn't matter what you did 6 months ago. It doesn't matter if you won 10 games in a row. Nothing matters, And we have seen this movie before. We saw it last year in the conference finals against Washington, We saw it in 2015 and 2016. A team that went to the playoffs. They were up 3-2 against Pittsburgh, lose the last two games at home, blew that chance, and then at Pittsburgh. We've seen it so many times before. Something doesn't click with this Tampa Bay Lightning group. 2014-15, reached the Stanley Cup Finals, up 2-1, lose 3 in a row. How many times does it have to happen? And, for God's sakes, you look at the depth at, defense. Sergachev, Cernak, McDonough, Girardi. There are so many teams that would love Victor Hedman, that would love to have that defensive corpse. Centerman, goodness gracious. From Steven Stamkos to Tyler Johnson to Killorn, to Braden Point to Cedric Paquette. There's teams in the NHL that would love to have 2 unbelievable two-way centermen. The Lightning have 5. Right wing, Kucherov, Callahan, Matthew Joseph. Left wing, Palat, Yanni Gourde. This team is so loaded. And they win a President's Trophy. They have the best player in the league as far as this season goes, arguably the best goaltender in the NHL. And looky here, we are in the same exact spot. We're in the same exact spot. And you know what? Like, Tampa Bay, I don't know top to bottom what all of their contracts look like, but they're going to have to end up paying, more of these young guys here pretty soon, right? I mean, they're going to have to, like, they're going to have to pay their young players, their young guns, and it's just going to be a real problem because the cap is going to prevent them from keeping this team together, much like it's kept the Blackhawks from keeping a team together, much like it's kept the Kings from keeping a team together. It's forced Pittsburgh into some tough decisions. That's how it works. You have your window, and then eventually guys are going to get paid. And Tampa Bay's window, man, I mean, it's been open for a long time. It really has been. It's been open for a good solid 5, 6 years. And they've had one of the top 2, 3, 4 teams in the NHL, no more than top 5 in a lot of those years, and especially this year. And it's just really, I mean, it's got to be so gut-wrenching for Lightning fans. It's got to be absolutely brutal. And you don't know, what they're going to do. You don't know what they're in the future. How many more cracks are? I mean, they had 128 points this year. Like, you just kind of wonder, like, is it ever going to happen type of a thing. Like, the Capitals last year, they overcame a lot, to win it. And, they certainly, I think, in a very odd way, they were, the Capitals, they were a team that had to have something wild happen to them. And maybe, just maybe, that's really what needs to happen for the Lightning. Maybe they need to be a wicked underrated team, and they need to go into the Stanley Cup Playoffs, like, legitimately as a, I don't know, 5 or 6 seed team. And I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore about these guys. I really don't. You just really do wonder, like, is it ever going to happen for them? But maybe it really comes down to, like, how Washington did it, right? That crazy down 0-2, like, just insane comeback, win 4 in a row. Maybe that's what they need, right? I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they need to, like, do it in Red Sox fashion, Cub fashion. Cleveland Cavaliers down 1-3 to the Warriors and winning the, whole thing. I mean, maybe that's what they need. Maybe it is. I mean, maybe they need to be a 5 or 6 seed. Maybe they need to have an average regular season. Maybe they need to just go in with no expectations. Go in without winning the President's Cup trophy. Go in without the best player. Go in without arguably the best goalie. Maybe that's what they need. And I don't foresee, I mean, I know everything, anything can happen in sports, blah, 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 but I don't think they're going to win this series. I mean, I don't see them, I don't think they have 4 wins in them. I really don't. But we'll see, and it's funny because looking deeper into the postseason, I thought that there were actually a lot of teams that, matched up really poorly for Tampa Bay in terms of, that the little things and the grit and some of the things that Tampa maybe was missing. And I'm not quite sure that Tampa did enough at the trade deadline. I thought they maybe should have gotten a lot tougher. Maybe you go out and get a Wayne Simmons and somebody else at the deadline. I think they needed maybe more beef, more toughness. They didn't do that. They are clearly a finesse team that is built with depth and balance and versatility and two-way centermen. They're built up the middle with those centermen, the defense, and the goalie. But there's just that maybe little something that's missing there. And, you have to wonder. I hate to say this because I love John Cooper, but is John Cooper's job in jeopardy after this? Is there a real chance here that this guy isn't going to be the coach of the Lightning in the not-too-distant future? I don't know. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. How a team can look just so one way and then so the other way from regular to postseason. Amazing. Thanks for listening to the ML Sports Platter. It is all over Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You can get it on Stitcher and also the Podbean app as well. And we are supported by our terrific friends at the Wolfenden Law Firm. Log on to wolfendenlaw.com for a free consultation today. wolfendenlaw.com. We're also supported by Lakeshore Yacht and Country Club and our terrific friends at Glazed and Confused. Head to Glazed and Confused in downtown Syracuse. If you're in and around central New York, they've got an amazing array of donuts, and you can find them online as well. glazedsyr.com, and follow them all over social media at glazedsyr. Also, want to point out a big tip of the cap thank you to our friends at Ken's Auto Detailing, the official detailing shop of the ML Sports Platter. Man, they've got it all going on. Bruton Road in Cicero. Get your car detailed, waxed, shampooed, you name it. A to Z detail, just $120. And when you drive away from the lot, literally feels like you have a new car. Hit me up on Twitter at Mike L Sports. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.